Hey everybody, welcome back to Movies with Mia. If you're new to the channel, hi. I'm Mia Tiffany, and here we are watching the greatest classic films throughout history. Today we are exploring a new case with Dr. Watson and Sherlock Holmes. Before we jump in, I would like to shout out my Golden Oscar patrons. Guys, thank you so much for your continued support of the channel. And if you're interested in becoming an exclusive VIP Tiffany Club member, then I highly encourage you to check out that Patreon link, which is in the description box below. Finally, I would like to express my deepest thanks to those of you who have sent me things in the mail, either an item or a letter. I don't express this enough, but I truly cherish all of your gifts and letters. Thank you so much. Today, we are watching the second episode in the Granada television series, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, titled The Dancing Men, which I have not seen. This will be my first time watching. I cannot wait to watch it. But first, I want to share a few fun facts about Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle was born in Scotland, a man after my own heart, and studied medicine at the University of Edinburgh. Then he moved to London to open his own medical practice. Now, unfortunately, at this time, his medical practice was a little bit slow, but it actually gave him a lot more free time to write. So he began publishing his short stories featuring Sherlock Holmes in 1887. But it wasn't until 1892 that he compiled his short stories into a book titled The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Now, with all that being said, I am so excited to watch this second episode, The Dancing Men. But before we do, y'all know the deal. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification to stay in the loop. All right, everyone, it is time to grab your snacks, grab your drinks, get cozy, and let's get into The Dancing Men. I'm so excited to dive into this second episode. I absolutely loved the first one. I also love that they kind of have the same music as the BBC series Sherlock. It's kind of cool. Wow, what a quaint little countryside home.
Elsie, what's the matter?
What's going on? What did she see? Because the man didn't see anything, so what did she see? Okay, whatever she saw is scaring the heck out of her and the heck out of me. Shoot. Oh.
You do not propose to invest in South African securities.
How on earth do you know that?
In a few minutes, you'll say it is all so absurdly simple.
Absurdly simple. Oh my god, his superpowers are about to come into play!
By the groove between your left forefinger and thumb, you've decided not to invest in the goldfields. You had chalk between your forefinger and thumb. You put chalk there when you play billiards with Thurston.
How could you possibly know that? That is so cool that he can, he just knows this from deductions.
Now, Thurston, you told me, had an option on some South African security. Your checkbook is locked in my drawer, so you do not propose to invest your money in that manner.
How absurdly simple.
He said it! He said, precisely 5 minutes, you will say how absurdly simple.
Holmes, why are you so cheerful? You're unemployed, you have no case to solve. Sherlock Holmes must have a case. Pah!
I really like the chemistry between Jeremy Brett and David Burke. That is so crucial when you're playing these two roles because that relationship is so important to the stories. So kudos to the casting director.
That conundrum came by the first post.
Hilton Cupid. So what do you make of it, gentlemen?
Why do you attach importance to something so trivial?
It's my wife, you see.
Oh, that was his wife? I thought that was his daughter. Oh, wow.
I've never seen anyone so upset.
It is a precise copy.
It's as exact as I could make it. If there's any danger threatening my wife, I'd spend my last penny to protect her.
He's doing this for his wife. That's really sweet. It does give an air of eeriness, the dancing men.
Tell us about your wife.
I put up at a boarding house in Russell Square. There was also a young American lady staying there. We were both alone and we became friends.
These books are told in the voice of Dr. Watson. So it's actually more interesting to me to see how David Burke is kind of listening intently. So that's just a really small detail that I really appreciate that the director put into this series.
She'd tired of America, traveled about, and finally settled in England. Before my holiday was over, I was as much in love as any man ever has been. She reciprocated my feelings, and we were married.
Well, there you go. That's quite romantic.
You think I'm mad, Mr. Holmes, taking a wife in such a fashion?
Explain and come to the point.
Holmes is like, and... doesn't even care about his romance.
In fact, it was on the very day of our marriage. Now I look back, it was odd.
There's something I have to say to you, Hilton. You know nothing of my life before we met.
Uh-oh. She holding some secrets? She got some secrets, because the only person with secrets says that.
But you'll have to take my word for it and allow me to be silent forever.
Oh, man. I
If
feel like
that's
that's a
too
lot
much
to
to
ask. Oh,
Leave me to the lonely life in which you found me.
I feel like for me personally, I'd be really, really curious to know what happened in your past. I'd be like, you can't ask me that, because now I'm curious, you know?
And when did the first cloud cover the sun of this great happiness?
Some months ago, May, in fact. There's one for you. Chicago.
She's burning the letter. Uh-oh. Her past is coming back to haunt her.
I don't know why.
America's her past.
If only she'd trust me. Whatever there was in her past, I'm sure it's no fault of hers.
I love how he goes not to couples therapy to talk about their issues, but to Sherlock Holmes to try and figure out this case. I think that is so hilarious.
I thought she was getting over the letter, and then these drawings appeared. I mean, it made everything worse than before. Well, I couldn't just leave it to have come to you.
Maybe this is a safe haven situation where, like, her ex-husband is trying to kill her or something.
Have you seen or heard of any strangers in the neighborhood?
I've not heard of any lately.
Then I suggest that you return to Derbyshire and make an exact copy of any fresh dancing men that may appear.
The setting that they were in the first episode, like the room that they were in, is different from this room. Now, it could just be like they're in a different part of the house. I don't know, but I noticed that. It looks different.
You are quite certain that it was from the United States?
Yeah, the postmark was Chicago.
Perfectly natural she should receive a letter from America.
Yes, but it is not natural to throw it onto the fire unopened.
I love Dr. Watson. He's so relatable. And like, I don't know. Everything about him I just love.
It evidently has a meaning. We should be able to get to the bottom of it.
Definitely, I feel like it stands for something. But also, who would be tormenting her in such a way, you know? I feel like it's really kind of messed up.
Know anything about this? I've not been on the front all day. When I've done this, I want you to wash it off and then come to me. Elsie, what are you doing? Have you been out today?
Yes.
Out of the house?
Oh god, this is gonna drive it like something between them. You gotta tell him your past.
Come to bed. Everything will look better in the morning.
He's getting
Will the
angry.
dancing men look better?
Why did they fuss you so?
They fussed
It's
you!
just a joke, a bit of mischief.
No! Why are you so scared about it then? I don't believe that for a second.
Why don't we travel, Hilton? Why don't we go away?
What did you see?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
How are you gonna say nothing? There was a whole man right there. What you got hiding, girl?
There's somebody outside.
You'll come to harm.
Or are you afraid he will come to harm?
Put more dancing men on the door. Gosh, that's so eerie. I don't know why it freaks me. Maybe it's the air of mystery.
These two are identical.
Well, I had that one washed off, only she hadn't tried to stop me.
Was this a mere addition to this?
It was on a separate panel of the door.
I freaking love Jeremy Brett. I'm sorry. I love him so much. Is he my new celebrity crush? Probably.
I must go now. I'd not leave Elsie alone at night. For all
Elsie. We will join you in a couple of days, and be patient.
Weren't exactly sympathetic.
He doesn't come to me for sympathy.
Comes to me for answers. Got a little clue there with her name. What we got going on, baby?
Whoa.
Where did you find
Another
this?
one.
Down by the garden bench. I'll have to get to move on if I'm going to catch the last pause.
Walker, just do what you're told.
What if it is Walker? What if he's the one that's doing it? It's the bad guy's, like the one that you never see coming, is always treated like poorly.
Well, it still doesn't mean very much, does it? What on earth does that mean? Abbas Lane.
If this is E, flag denotes the end of words.
Look at that. Secret message. She looks so disheveled.
Holmes, I do wish you would try and eat a bite.
It's like, I can't. I'm
Just
working.
need an answer to my telegram from America, and the story is complete.
He's dreaming about it. Oh my god, that's so creepy. I really don't think it came from America. I really don't. Where's his wife? His wife ain't there. She's probably out in the garden freaking out. Oh, who she's talking to someone who's American. And someone is watching his house like a freaking nighthawk. My father forced me into it. What if she has an arranged marriage? There is another relationship that she's not saying. Of course they did it off camera. Of course they did it off camera.
Watson!
What the devil's going on?
He's figured it out.
Another letter from Hilton Cubitt. Elsie, prepare.
Oh, what does it say? Elsie, Re-are to meet thy go? Prepare to meet thy go? I don't know.
It's from the Chicago Police Bureau. Abe Slaney is one of the most dangerous men in Chicago.
Really thought mother, gentlemen. You may be able to save her, but she's for the gallows. She murdered her husband.
What? Something doesn't sound right. Murdered her husband?
The surgeons. This way, gentlemen.
This is Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
It's like, show some respect, sir.
Mr. Holmes, but what do you know of this business?
Love the prestige that he has. Everyone just knows of him.
Mr. Hilton Cubitt was my client.
How could you hear of it in London and get to the spot as soon as I?
We came in hope of preventing it.
Oh my gosh. He's always kind of in the know and he's always kind of inquisitive, but there's some points when he's just genuinely taken aback. But it is a very interesting little detail that shows us more of Sherlock's character. Like, he is still only human.
And, Mrs. Cubitt.
Seriously wounded.
The bullet passed through the front of her brain and she's still unconscious.
Oh my gosh, how tragic.
Mrs. Cubitt murdered her husband and then turned the gun upon herself. The murder room's through here, Mr. Holmes.
No, I would like to start by interviewing the servants.
I'm telling you, it's Walker. Walker is Abe. I said it here. Walker is Abe.
Where are your rooms?
The attics. I was awoke by this terrible bang. Then about a minute later, there was
than a
another
minute.
bang, only not so loud.
Look how freaking obvious he looks with the freaking mustache. Who has a mustache like that in the 1890s? Come on.
And the bedroom door was open, and the smell was worse down here.
Ah, you mean of the gunpowder. Now, you say the smell was worse downstairs. Could you also smell gunpowder upstairs?
Yes, sir.
Everyone looks so clean. Like they all took really good showers before starting filming.
Was the library door open when you reached it?
She was terribly wounded, sir. She sort of collapsed on the floor. Hasn't said anything since.
That must have been horrifically tragic.
Thank you, then. I think we can proceed.
2 bullets fired, 2 wounds inflicted.
And how do you account for the bullet that has so obviously struck the window frame?
However did you see that?
I looked for it.
I looked for it. Simple. Absurdly simple.
The third person must have been present.
Was not that window also open?
It was shut.
It was Mrs. Cubitt who shut that window.
Interesting.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. He's all mesmerized. In awe of the greatest detective ever.
If the late Mr. Hilton Cubitt fired the bullet, he
Eyes
must have been
locked.
aiming at someone either inside or just outside the window. This is the cartridge case.
By the way, loving the black gloves with the gray suit. Absolutely working.
If 3 shots were fired, why did...
The first bang was 2 shots, almost simultaneously. One from the window and one from Hilton Cubitt.
Interesting. So they fired at each other at the same time.
Do any of you know of an inn called Elridge's?
There's a farmer of that name.
Excellent. This note to a Mr. Abe Slaney of Elridge's farm.
Yes, sir.
Don't freaking trust Walker. God, watch me be totally wrong.
I am expecting a visitor. He will ask for Mrs. Cubitt. I want you to show him into this room, and you must not give anything away.
I would be like at the whim of his every word. He is so convincing.
Oh, Mrs. King, your mistress is quite innocent.
Even when she wakes up, she still lost her husband, the man who she loves so dearly, you know? God, that breaks my heart. Uh-oh. Mysterious man with a giant hat.
Excuse me, sir. There's a gentleman approaching the house.
Do you think he'd be armed?
He's a fool if he's not.
Took the gun just in case.
Is Mrs. Cubitt at home?
What name shall I say?
Tell her it's an old friend. She's expecting me. Looks like you've got the drop on me, but what the hell is going on?
What the hell is going on?
Mrs. Elsie Cubitt is very seriously ill.
I don't believe you. Mrs. Elsie Cubitt wrote me a note that only I can understand.
At Eldridge's. Come, Elsie.
I love how absolutely American he is portraying, like, so American.
Slaney, when you shot Hilton Cubitt, Elsie Cubitt, in her despair, attempted to kill herself.
No! I love you, Elsie! Elsie!
Oh, it's her lover! He would never have shot her.
Elsie's father's the most powerful man in Chicago. It was he who invented the dancing man. I wouldn't have touched a hair on her pretty head.
I've never been so happy as I've been here with him.
She's like, please go home. Let me live my life in England.
I want to stay, and I'm going to stay.
What about your family?
Some family.
But you and I were engaged.
My father forced me into it.
Oh, here's the conversation we heard earlier. So now we know that the husband is creeping with his gun in the back.
How can I be happy with you in that life? Please, I beg you.
Beg me?
Hilton is such a good man. It would break my heart if scandal ever touched him.
The acting. Stellar. Love the drama. He's like, you beg me? I love it.
Are you coming home? What the?
No. What a tragic end of a beautiful, promising romance. All she wanted to do was escape her family.
I think we've heard enough for the moment. Come along.
What did you write in that note?
See if you can read it.
Come here at once. Come here at once.
How absurdly simple.
Absurdly simple. Full circle.
Abe Slaney was condemned to death,
Condemned to death. Wow.
but his sentence was changed to penal servitude in the certainty that Hilton Cubitt had fired the first shot.
Okay, so his sentence got changed. All right.
Mrs. Cubitt made a complete recovery and lives still at Ridlingthorpe Manor.
Oh, she stayed there. Wow. Never went back to Chicago. What a fantastic episode, guys. Wow, that was really intense. I loved the dancing men. I love how it was kind of like a message that you had to decode. I think that was so cool, the way that that was used. As always, I loved Jeremy Brett in this role. He was fantastic. We really got to see more of Jeremy Brett and David Burke, them kind of showing the chemistry of Dr. Watson and Sherlock Holmes. I think that was really cool that we got to see that in this episode. Yeah, overall, fantastic episode. Guys, thank you so much for watching it with me. All right, everyone, that does it for this video. As always, if you liked it as much as I did, please give it a thumbs up. Also, if you would like to become an official Tiffany Club member, then I highly encourage you to hit that subscribe button and that bell notification to stay in the loop. If you would like to see this episode's full reaction, you will find it on my Patreon, as well as our FlickPick polls, which allow you to vote for future videos, and our MWM live streams, where every other week we come together as the Tiffany Clubbers that we are, and we sit down and we watch one classic film live via Zoom. If that's something that sounds of interest to you, then I highly encourage you to check out that Patreon link, which is in the description box below. In our next video with Sherlock and Dr. Watson, we are going to be watching episode 3, titled The Naval Treaty. If you haven't seen or read The Naval Treaty, I highly encourage you to check a quick synopsis of it online or grab a copy of the actual episode and watch it. I have provided links down in the description box below of where I bought my physical copy. If you have a recommendation for any classic Hollywood films, go ahead and head on over to my website, www.miatiffany.com, scroll all the way down and you will find our new recommendation form. Drop all of your recommendations there. Today's question of the day comes from Jay Malarcher. Jay asks, what did you study in school? Your analytical skills are excellent, and I wish my students had your commitment to the material. Well, thank you, Jay. That is quite the compliment. Honestly, I studied finance in school. I wanted to try something different. Like I've said, I've always had a passion for film, but I kind of wanted to go to college for my plan B, so I decided to major in finance with a minor in communication. Thank you so much, Jay, for your question. If you have a burning question for me, please let me know in the comments down below. Also, feel free to DM me on Instagram and Twitter. My handle is @MammaMiaTiffany, and I'll choose one of your burning questions, answer it, and give you a little shout out here at the end. You can also reach me via email. My email is miawilliams642@gmail.com. As always, guys, this is such a pleasure. Thank you so much for watching. Please stay safe and healthy out there, and I will see all of you in the next video. Bye, everyone.